Yo, what's up, guys? This is Chris, and I wanted to talk about something because I've been asked it very recently about a supplement for hair loss, a very popular one, a very well marketed one, called Provillus, and if it will help you stop hair loss, and if the ingredients are legit, and if you should buy it, and is it as good as they claim it is, and etc., etc., etc. The short answer to that is no, it's complete bullshit. And the rest of the video, I'll explain why that is the case. Now, I've actually been taking Provillus, and I haven't even known it. And that might seem a little weird to you because it seems a little weird to me too. I took a look at my multivitamin today, actually just like an hour ago, okay? Optimum, good multivitamin, by the way. And it has all the same ingredients as Provillus, plus about 55 more. And that should give you an indication that this is a multivitamin, okay? And at best, that is what Provillus is, even though it contains about 8 ingredients. So we'll go over that ingredient, and I'll explain one by one why each of them doesn't need to be bought in a formula that won't do anything for hair loss in the first place. And hopefully the ingredients will go up on the screen right now. Okay, first one is vitamin B6. That has nothing to do with hair loss whatsoever. Possibly could do with hair growth. If you have a vitamin B6 deficiency, your body might not be able to produce and grow hair as fast, but a vitamin B6 deficiency, just as every vitamin B kind of compound, is very, very rare, especially, you know, other than in maybe third world countries. So if you're in the USA, Australia, Europe, United Kingdom, even in South America in most places, vitamin B6, unless you have a deficiency, nothing, no more excess of that will help grow hair or especially retain hair. Now that actually goes to the second thing in this formula, which is one of the only things that has anything to do with hair whatsoever, and that's biotin. That is also a B vitamin, a water-soluble B vitamin. Now biotin, this is proven here, if you do have a deficiency of biotin, which is very, very, very rare unless you consume about 20 to 25 raw eggs a day, will you have a deficiency in biotin. And with the deficiency, you could possibly not grow hair as fast. But again, that has to do with hair growth. It also has to do with you don't have a deficiency of it. And that's very, very rare unless maybe you're a vegan or something like that. Other than being in a third world country and not getting the nutrients you need. If you can view this video on the internet, you do not have a biotin deficiency. That would not be the thing. And if you did, that would affect the rate at which your hair grew, not the rate at which it fell out, okay? And these kind of things, a healthy vitamin for your hair has not, hair growth and hair loss are two separate things. Hair loss, what we're talking about, male pattern baldness, is miniaturization of the hair follicles. It has nothing really to do with hair growth. Now, speeding up your hair growth can only help the situation, but it won't really stop the loss. And I do encourage you to speed up your hair growth as much as possible, but people are buying this formula because they think it'll stop hair loss. It's not the case whatsoever. Next ingredient, magnesium. Magnesium has nothing to do with hair loss whatsoever. It's only very, very minorly linked with it. Sure, if you have a magnesium deficiency, it could compromise your immune system, which could cause hair loss, but unless you are walking around with a severely compromised immune system, getting sick all the time and not knowing why it is, magnesium has nothing to do with hair loss whatsoever. Barely, maybe 0.001%, and there's no point to putting in the formula. They might as well just put sugar in there. Okay, zinc. This is interesting here. That's related to hormones. If you have a zinc deficiency, you might have a testosterone deficiency. Again, that's very, very rare. Excess doses of zinc will not produce excess doses of testosterone. And keep that in mind when you're evaluating bodybuilding supplements. And in this case, it's not linked with hair loss whatsoever. In fact, it's suggested the more testosterone you have in your system, the more hair loss you may have. But that's not really the cause of hair loss. Anyway, testosterone, it's an okay thing because it'll speed your hair growth. Too much DHT will attack your hair follicles. Again, none of these ingredients have anything really to do with DHT. Now we get to one that does, and it's called saw palmetto. And any kind of hair loss supplement you will find, especially the ones that don't work, which is basically every one of them, will have saw palmetto in it. And this is interesting. because saw palmetto is clinically proven to inhibit DHT. Let me tell you about that. It's clinically proven to inhibit DHT that attacks your prostate, okay? That is somewhat the same DHT that attacks your hair follicles, but not entirely. Right now, as of the year 2012, there have been two types of DHT that have been, it's generally accepted there's two types of DHT. They'll probably come across there's more or hybrids of the two, but right now there's two types. The type that attacks your prostate is a little different than the type that attacks your hair. Saw palmetto affects the prostate DHT, not necessarily the hair DHT. Now, there is some credibility here, but if you want to try saw palmetto, because it's the only ingredient in this hair loss Provillus formula that might have any credibility, you might as well just go buy saw palmetto for $5 rather than this formula with all this other crap that has nothing to do with hair loss that sells for 30 or 40. I don't even know how much it is, but this would be the only ingredient. Now, I've used saw palmetto. I don't recommend it because it didn't work for me, and I've taken up to like 5-10 grams a day. We're talking mega dosing, and it didn't really do anything. So for most guys, I don't really think it'll do anything, but it's not going to hurt you. So if you want to try it, and again, it's the only ingredient that may have any sort of effect in this formula, go try it, but don't go buy the saw palmetto separately. Now, there's a proprietary blend of stuff that has nothing to do with hair loss, stinging nettle that loosely affects DHT supposedly, and if anything, not significantly enough to cut down hair loss. Pumpkin seed, which I think makes stuff to absorb better. Pumpkin seed's healthy for you. Ginseng, which is good for your memory. Uva ursi, which is a diuretic, a herbal diuretic that's pretty good actually. I don't know what it's doing in this formula. It's a random diuretic. And something that there's absolutely no information on the internet about that I really can't pronounce. All in all, this is an overpriced saw palmetto formula, okay? Saw palmetto is clinically proven to inhibit DHT. It is not clinically proven to do anything for hair loss whatsoever. The supplement companies make the connection, okay? Kills DHT. DHT causes hair loss. Therefore, our formula will kill your hair loss. It doesn't always work out that way. There's a logical fallacy in assuming that, okay? It's not much different than supplement companies saying, you know, Tribulus raises testosterone. Testosterone builds muscle. Therefore, our formula will build muscle on you. It doesn't work out that way, and it never usually does. The only compound that can inhibit both types of DHT is dutasteride, Avodart. And I have a link for that on my website. I want you to research that separately because that's a little different. It's not over the counter. You can get it without prescription. I have a link for it, but that's a different story. Provillus, you don't need it. You might as well buy this multivitamin, and I'll put up the actual ingredients in this multivitamin for you, and it'll show you. It has everything that I just listed in Provillus. So if you want to try saw palmetto for hair loss, and you want some nice little minerals and vitamins around it, get this. It's good. It actually gives you kind of crazy dreams, and that's kind of fun. So Provillus, there's no point in taking it. There's absolutely no point in taking it. Go buy saw palmetto if you want, or go buy a high-quality multivitamin. It'll likely have all these things. The saw palmetto, or Provillus formula only has one sort of legit thing in it for hair loss, and that would be saw palmetto, but it's not clinically proven, and never will be because it doesn't really do that much. But, you know, again, it can't hurt. So when guys ask me, you know, Chris, should I take saw palmetto? I say, couldn't hurt, don't expect a lot. You know, I mega dosed it. I bet I took more of that than anyone in the country back in 2005, just to try it out. Didn't do a damn thing. Certainly didn't do what finasteride did. And that just goes to show that, you know, the connection between DHT and hair loss, certainly the type of DHT that saw palmetto deals with, is not exact. So there's my thoughts on Provillus. Don't waste your money. This is a perfect example of a formula that I've started this website a year ago to discourage people from getting shit like this. Like, seriously. This is an example of a bullshit hair loss product. This is an example of why this